Good. So I'm really excited to do this. I've never done this before. So we're gonna have a quick yarn about how I got into barbering. I got into barbering at the age of 15 years old. I went into Culture Kings. For some tracks. That was the cool thing back then. And I'd never had my hair boxed. My hairline was a little further down at the time, a lot further down. So I could get my head boxed back then. So I went in. This was with my son's mum. I went in with my son's mum. Yeah, I was about 15. So I went in, got my tracks, got my box, and we had a quick yarn. Robbie's the guy that taught me. Rest in peace, Robbie. He passed away a few years ago. He taught me. I went in, sat down, pretty much had a little yarn, asked me what I do. I was a butcher at the time at Super Butcher in Oxenford. Loved my job. If I didn't go to Culture Kings that day, I'd still be butchering, but I went and got my hair cut. So I went and got my hair cut, and we started talking about my mum and dad being barbers. Now, Dad's been a barber my whole life, before I was born. Dad's always done that. He done hairdressing as well as barbering. But we started talking about my mum. Now, we got into detail about, you know, mum looking after 5 of us kids on a single wage, on a single barber wage. Mum actually just worked up there, like 100 meters up that way. And yeah, I think that maybe touched a little heartstrings with Robbie. I think it touched a few of his heartstrings. You know, the little yarn we had, and he asked me, you know, is barbering something you'd want to do? And I said, I've always wanted to do barbering. Ever since I was 12 years old, I remember looking up at Mum and telling her that I wanted to do barbering. And he pretty much asked, have you cut hair before? I hadn't touched a pair of clippers. Never. I told him yes. I completely lied to him. Next day I took my brother in for a trial. Butchered his hair. Absolutely butchered it. But I went in with a good attitude, and I think that's how I came out with a job. So I went out. I made an absolute mockery of my brother's hair. And he's like, yep, no worries, you can start tomorrow. I started, and I was there for 3 months. 3 months I was there for. And then Mum had said, son, they've fired me up the road. I'm gonna start a shop. I said, let's do it. So we started Misty's. The next week, we opened it up with 10 grand. And 10 years later, we're here. We're still cutting, we're still going hard. And I'm very grateful for the customers that have come through and supported us on the way. You know, 10 years we've been here, 10 years. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. I've had my brother work here, I've had many friends work here. And very grateful for the work that we've both put in to make Misty's what it is. And yeah, for another 10 years, thank you.